What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. As always, you can follow me on Instagram at Dream Rare. That's DreamRare. You can follow me on Twitter at Legendary Energy. Check out my website, legendary.vision. I also have a podcast available called Rare Talk Podcast. It's on Apple, Google, wherever else you get podcasts. I'm going to wait about 10, 15, 20 more seconds for people to get into the live stream. And then I'm going to talk about something that was pretty funny and interesting to me and unfortunate because I'm a very optimistic, very positive, very happy person. So to see the media and a lot of people who consider themselves activists to attack somebody for simply being happy is just going too far. So I have to say something. Let's wait about 10 more seconds for people to get in. Hello, everybody. I went out last night, listened to loud music. I can't hear in my right ear, but hopefully I can get this live stream out. Hello. Okay, so first off, I'm going to read what Taylor Swift wrote on her Instagram. I never thought I'd say that on a live stream, but here it is. This is what triggered a lot of people in the media and a lot of people to not call them a wrong name. Let's call them low energy crabs. Sometimes I call them Trump haters, the anti-Trump movement. Sometimes I call them the left, or, and then everyone's like, oh, but that's not all the left, whatever. Let's call them low energy crabs. I'm going to read the post, though, that everyone got upset about. I love you guys so much. This was a photo Paul took at Capitol official Jingle Bell Ball in London a few days ago. I couldn't have asked for a better year. All thanks to you. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Wait to see what 28 will be like. See you on tour. Are you kidding me? She said, I love you guys so much. I couldn't have asked for a better year. Thanks to you. See you on tour. And listen to some of the responses to this. Remember when the President of the United States imposed a travel ban? Says Ann T. Donahue, who gets a nice little blue check mark on Twitter, so she must be really important. Taylor Swift is my arch enemy now. I mean, yeah, there were Nazis and white supremacy marches and families were being torn apart and there were mass shootings and people losing health care. But none of that affects me, so 2017 was great. There isn't a big enough eye roll. There isn't an eye roll big enough. Gasp. Oh my goodness. And then I'm going to also read a nice Jezebel, which I don't know what Jezebel is. It must be some sort of feminist publication where you go if you hate yourself and you hate men and you hate America. But here's a real article. It says, shut up Taylor Swift, everybody hated 2017. I'm sorry, this is hilarious. And I can't tell if these people are joking or not. I can't tell if it's a parody or they're trying to be funny. But I'm going to read this article. And here, let me just reread what Taylor Swift said again. The thing that triggered so many people. She said, I love you guys so much. Whoa, love. Don't love people. Couldn't have asked for a better year. All right. This is Jezebel. This is the bombshell article. 2017 was not a good year. In the last 12 months, the United States has been plagued with hurricanes, wildfire, gunfire, and a group of megalomaniac hell-bent on dismantling social safety nets so they can get tax breaks on their private jets. Billionaires destroyed media companies. I don't know what ice shelves cracked. Tom Petty died. I mean, all decent points, but, let me see. Hold on. Swift posted on her wonderful Instagram. Swift posted about her wonderful Instagram on Wednesday, just a few days after she wrote, I love you guys so much. In all fairness, it was her birthday, but on my birthday, I blacked out and cried, and Taylor Swift should have too. I get that's funny. That's like the passive-aggressive, I hate my life. That's like what the kids are doing these days. They're like, FML, F my life, and I hate myself, and let me take more pills. I get it. Like, everyone goes through that phase, but you can have the politics, you can have the, do this, do that, whatnot, but you can't have optimism, you can't have good energy, you can't take away happiness and optimism. I'm sorry. You can have all that stuff. I can ignore Rob Reiner on Twitter, like, we're going to march in the streets if the Russia Council's canceled because Adam Schiff's leaking and the whole thing was a lie and they're covering up the Uranium One deal where, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama sold, 20% of the United States uranium to Russia. We're going to march in the streets. It's like, okay, you can do that. I'll ignore that and just go out and have a good time. But you can't have optimism. I'm sorry. I don't care how bad the world gets. I don't care what happens. It is a spirituality that is a part of a lot of major religions. It's a part of, Taoism and Buddhism and a lot of these things. You can't take away optimism. You can't take away happiness. You can't yell at somebody and hate somebody because they're not as miserable as you. We understand misery loves company. I get it. I totally understand that, but be miserable in the corner. Go be a low energy crab on your own because people have had enough. And ironically, wow, it's such a bombshell. I can't believe it. A lot of the people that I know that are using, their own insecurities and their own mental, blocks that they put on themselves to really succeed. Like it's been happening for 10, 15 years. Of course, they're part of the, oh my God, this is the worst year movement. Oh, I'm sure it is because you've been saying that for the last 15 years and you just find somebody else to scapegoat. It's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. Trump comes along. Of course, it's his fault. He's the easiest target in the world. But you can't take away optimism. She didn't even say, I like the president, which would be totally fine. It's like, I like President Obama. Cool, good for you. I like President Trump. That's okay. She didn't even say that. She said, I had a good year on my birthday. It was a great year. And guess what? It was a great year. It was an incredible year. Yes, there are tragedies. Yes, there are horrors that are happening in the world. Yes, there is slave trade and organ harvesting that is happening in Libya that, of course, they didn't talk about on Jezebel because it had to do with the fake feminist leader Hillary Clinton and the fake social justice activist Barack Obama. Of course, they don't talk about that tragedy. Never do. When that comes up, they're like, oh, it's, who knows who's running the stuff. It's like, what? I thought you were blaming it all on Trump. Anyway, they're not allowed to take away optimism. And I'll tell you what, if you're not a low energy crab, if you're very grateful, if you keep your ego down and you're always learning and you're having a good time, you can actually manifest and bring a lot of good things in your life. I'll tell you an optimistic story that you're not going to hear on any of these mainstream news outlets because they don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be successful. They don't want you to be spiritually sound. They don't want you to love yourself. They don't want you to love your family. They don't want you to love your country. They don't want you to know that you have the power, even if you have $1,000 in the bank account, that you can make millions of dollars. They don't want you to know that because the strong person, the strong woman, the strong man, the strong LGBT community person, the strong social justice activist, they're not going to vote the way they want you to vote. They're not going to listen to the celebrities. They're not going to watch the television and believe everything they hear, so they don't want to empower you. So it's no surprise to me that they want to tear Taylor Swift down because she's happy. I mean, you can be miserable. You can say all these things, but you're not allowed to tear somebody down for being happy. I'm sorry. But someone said I like the pillow. Thank you. I like it too, so that's why I put it there. It, spaces things out a little bit more. But I'm going to tell you a story that is a very true story. If anybody's paying attention to cryptocurrencies, it's one of the most exciting things to happen in the financial industry or, the technology industry in a long time. If you invested into Bitcoin, if you guys have heard of Bitcoin, I started talking about it a little more years ago. It used to be at $10, $20, $30, $40. It's about to hit $20,000. I actually had two of them a couple years ago, but I had no money, so I had to sell them. I bought them at $700, two of them. I had to sell them because I needed rent money. If I would have kept them, that would be $40,000. Next year could be $200,000 off of less than $2,000 investment. So if you're not such a low energy crab, like, oh my God, the travel ban, and oh man, there's white supremacists everywhere. If you break out of that mental slavery that they try to put you in, and you focus on yourself, you don't, oh, I wish I was that. I wish I had that. I wish I had that. Oh, I wish I was there. I wish I was doing what Becky's doing on her Instagram. Oh, I wish I was traveling there like she's traveling. Oh man, I wish I had that phone. If you just focus on what you actually have and what you can do to be successful, it is the greatest time ever to be alive. Somebody says, is it too late now for Bitcoin? Absolutely not. I'm going to talk about that more in a second. But if you focus on what you actually have, your whole life can change. It happened to me. It happens to a lot of people. I used to be that type of person where I used to hate everything, and I used to be mad at everything. I used to be like, oh, I don't have this, and they have this, they have that. And then I stopped doing that, and that's when I built all of these things. That's when I got all of this success, because I toned down the ego, toned down the desire, toned down, all of the envy, and upped the knowledge, the wisdom, spirituality, the love, the peace, the self-accountability, the self-reflection. I don't wake up, blaming everybody else. I focus on myself. Anyway, if you do that, not only mentally, physically, spiritually, you can get better at everything, but financially too. People are attacking millionaires. Oh my God, the millionaires are going to get a tax break. If some of these people just shut up and focus on themselves, they can actually be a millionaire or be Taylor Swift or be happy, at bare minimum. But with Bitcoin, like I said, if just a couple $1,000s or even a couple $100 at the right time, you could be a millionaire. Imagine any time in history that you can go from nothing to $1 million like that. And when it comes to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, this stuff's not going away. Bitcoin recently partnered with TD Ameritrade. The big banks are in on it. They're going in on a cryptocurrency called Ripple. This stuff is here to stay. It's technology that transfers. There's some security technology. It does all this stuff. I'm still learning about it, but it's not going away. Definitely, certain cryptocurrency I think is still a great investment, and I think it's worth looking into if you have a few thousand or a few hundred whatever saved that you could potentially lose. But onto this story, I can't accept all of this negativity and just let them get away with it and think that they run the internet and think that they run people's lives and they can pressure people into being negative and miserable. Because guess what? I've said it since the beginning. And I don't care if Hillary Clinton won. I don't care if, I don't know. I don't care if, I can't think of anybody worse than that to make a bombshell example. But I don't care who's president. When Barack Obama was president, I wasn't saying, oh, it's the worst year ever. I hate myself. I had a good 8 years. I was like, I'm going to be successful even if Barack Obama is president. Then I'll have to pay more taxes. I'll be successful with President Trump. I don't care who's the president. Just be successful, be happy. Don't let somebody steal your happiness. And the irony about all of this, even if President Trump was doing all these terrible things, I would still say be happy. But the funny thing is all the stuff they're talking about, they don't even know what they're talking about. Well, he implemented the travel ban. I bet you, let's see who this said that. Oh, Ann T. Donahue. She's got a blue check mark. So Ann T. Donahue, if you're out there, much love to you and your family. God bless you. Let's have a debate about the travel ban. Since you tweeted about it, you made dailymail.co.uk. Congratulations, you made a big mainstream news outlet. I'm sure you've done it before. But let's have a debate about the travel ban. The irony of all these people that are miserable, they don't even know why they're miserable. They're miserable because the TV tells them to be miserable. Nothing about the travel ban, the one that's been implementing, nothing about it doesn't make sense. It's complete common sense, as is border security. It's not racist, it's not sexist, it's not xenophobic. It's literally common sense. And I figured this out because I listen to what President Trump says. I listen to what the low energy crabs and the haters say. And then I listen to what the Trump supporters say. I listen to what the Trump haters say. I listen to what the libertarians say. And I realized, I was like, wow, the haters really have no policies, no platforms, no common sense, no logic, no honesty. They're just like trying to rebel. It's like no matter what he does, oh, the economy's up. Oh, well, I hate America anyway. It was never great, and it's not. I don't want it to be great. It's like, okay, I get it. I hear you. I hear where you're coming from. You're allowed to feel that way, but I'm ready to debate anybody that feels that way, because I guarantee I would make you look very foolish without being mean or disrespectful or anything, because it's like a self-inflicted negativity. And this is very common. I laughed at the Jezebel article because it's that, it's like that, oh, I hate my life humor is very popular among the kids now. And I think to an extent it is funny, I get it, but I think it's also very, very unhealthy. And I do see with a lot of the kids, like a lot of the new rappers nowadays too, they're like, I hate my life, let's do a lot of pills. And all the kids are like, yeah, F life. I get it. Like, we all went through that phase. I definitely had a phase where I did things that I shouldn't have done, and I felt ways that I shouldn't have felt. I understand the appeal, but there's a lot of people caught in that mindset into their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, and people keep them in that mindset. The news keeps them in that mindset. A lot of the musicians keep them in that mindset. Now the celebrities keep them in that mindset. It's like the Alyssa Milanos and stuff. It's like, go have fun. You broke the matrix. You made millions of dollars. Go have fun and do activism in a way that makes sense. Like the modern day activists don't even do activism. They're like anti-activism. Trump came along and made everybody like completely dumb. And it's really weird to me because I get that you might not agree with certain policies, but let's debate about it. Let's talk about it instead of sitting in the Twitter echo chamber of all the people who agree with you and then assuming that everybody's racist who doesn't agree with you. Let's talk about it. And at what point are people going to stop? Because I'm not going to be not happy. I'm not going to be not successful. I don't care who was president. You're not allowed to take that away from people just because you're unhappy. And a lot of these things, like I said, a lot of these unhappinesses, is that a word? They're self-inflicted, as is a lot of stuff. They say, the wisdom, you'll see picture quotes all over Instagram and Facebook. They'll say, it's not what happens, it's how you react to it. And it's totally true. That's why even among everything, I'm still working on myself because sometimes I get upset and, certain things make me mad, but I don't blame everybody else. I'm not mad at a single person. You could ask me, Anomaly, who do you hate? Who do you want revenge on? Who do you want to out to the Huffington Post in 15 years? Who hurt you? Nobody. I have no enemies. I'm not mad at anybody. There's people that have done me wrong, but I don't care. I leave the past in the past. I leave the future in the future, and I focus on the present moment. It's either a blessing or a lesson. And I'm worried about myself because I still have a lot. Someone said Litecoin. Now, that's a very rare thing to say. Check out Litecoin. I'm definitely on the Litecoin bandwagon, straight to the moon. As they say, hold, HODL, for the cryptocurrency people in here. We'll keep that on the low for now, but we all need to focus on ourselves, and we all need to be more optimistic because the combination of everybody, that will change the world. It's not going to be the president. It's not going to be the policies. That's why people always say, run for government. First of all, I would never want to do that because, one, the low-energy crabs would just try to drag me down further than they already dragged me down. Oh, look what Anomaly said 20 years ago on his Twitter when he was like 19 years old. It's like, oh, wow. They would drag me to the bottom. But plus, also, I don't care about politics that much. I don't care about legislation. They write a bunch of these 600-page bills, and they give it like a headline like, oh, the net neutrality bill, and then it's 332 pages, no one ever reads it. Or they'll be like, Affordable Care Act, but we don't even know what it is. Or, they give it like the headline little name, and then write all this stuff. I don't care about legislation. What I care about is the collective consciousness of humanity. I care about energy. I know how powerful energy is. I know how powerful the media is. I know how powerful technology is, and I know for a fact, I can't say a fact because that would be a stretch, but this is the greatest time ever to be alive, and I love seeing celebrities like Taylor Swift embrace that because I'll tell you what, she'll have a lot more of a positive influence on people by saying, this is a great time to be alive. Go reach for your dreams and be happy, rather than the Alyssa Milanos and the Chelsea Handlers that are just like, and then her friends are like, you're not help. That's not activism. That's like chronic psychosis. That's like, probably the amount of pharmaceutical pills that Chelsea Handler's following takes is up like 10,000%. She's helping the pharmacy industry, driving her support base into psychosis. And those are the type of people that would attack someone like Taylor Swift, who didn't even say anything. I mean, let alone if they said, oh, what if Taylor Swift was like, hey, I like President Trump, and I think he's not doing that bad of a job. They would lose their minds. Completely lose their minds. I know there's certain celebrities who feel that way and people in the music industry, but they won't say it because there's no tolerance. I've said to people, I think the guy's underrated. I think the news is overreacting, which both of those statements are 1,000% true. It's the lowest of it's the dumbest of the dumb, dumbed down of the dumbed down that I could say to somebody. I think he's not as bad as they say he is, which is not hard because they paint him like a Disney villain character, and they paint everybody else like, oh, they've done nothing wrong. They've only lost, laundered trillions of dollars and started all these wars, but Who knows? They're painters now. I say that, and people are like, whoa, I didn't know you were a Trump supporter. I was like, what does that mean? Like, I just said he's underrated, and I think that the news is lying. I know that the news is lying. Whoa, I can't accept that. But let alone, now they've gone even so far for her saying, I love you. Oh, that's a problem now? You can't love your fans and have a good time on your birthday? When will these Looney Tunes and low-energy crabs stop? They're going so far to the point where they don't even want people to love each other. I get it. You don't love yourself. You don't love this country. You don't love your family. You don't love people. You don't love your community. You're not powerful. You have no self-accountability. You don't think that you can do anything. You think you have no control in this world, and the only way, to get control is if you vote Democrat and your taxes go up and your health care is, government run, and you think that's freedom. You think women's rights is taking a pill so you can't have a baby. And no disrespect, I'm pro, take pills, but that's what women's rights are now. The Democratic Party has psyopsed women so much to think women's empowerment movement means whether you have access to birth control pills or whether your employer pays for your birth control pills or not. It's not even access to. That's what the women's rights movement has been hijacked. There's women who think they're activists by fighting for the right for their employer to give them birth control pills. This is some sick stuff, man. And I'm not even anti-birth control pill. Much love to people take them, whatever. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a politician. I don't care specifically, but that's not women's empowerment movement. A women's empowerment movement is taking control of your life, understanding that, the opposite of what the media says. That's what power is. They make people into victims. They make people weak because weak people are easy to control. If they get you fearful, if they get you so hateful that you will attack anybody that's optimistic, I mean, how far have we fallen? This is really sick stuff. Low energy crabs everywhere. Looney Tunes everywhere. They've gone from, I don't like the president, to you're not even allowed to be happy on your birthday. I mean, this is some crazy stuff. I can't tell if these people are joking. And a lot of this, like I said, is self-induced, and I'm not above it by any means. Sometimes I'm on Twitter getting all upset at stuff, and then I turn off my phone, my little box that I stare at for hours that we're looking at now, pretty weird stuff. I turn it off and I'm like, oh my God, the real world is so much better than reading Twitter from this little box. So to a lot of these activists, especially the blue checkmark ones and the $1 million celebrities, turn off your little box and go for a walk and be happy and spread love and optimism, because there's been a lot of terrible things that have happened in the world in the past and in the present that no one talks about and no one cares about. So this year wasn't the first year ever that bad things have happened. I mean, look at history. It's been a series of unfortunate events forever. I mean, people went from being like monkeys, potentially literally, and then savages to kind of savages to we're going to sail and kill everybody we see, to hey, we can drive and communicate with each other. I mean, we've gone a long way. Telephones were invented in the 1900s. Before that, we didn't have the technology to communicate with other countries and people far away from us. So if you think about it, rather than hating all of your ancestors and blaming everything on the American person, oh, it's the American man who destroyed everything. Be honest about history. I mean, no one could communicate. We had no way of communication, so people just killed each other. And every race, religion, and gender was doing it. Probably more men, to be honest. So, me too. It was probably more the men's fault. But, that's what happened. And then we had cell phones, then we had the computers. So it's we're in this renaissance of communication. So, be kind to your ancestors, be kind to your grandparents, be kind to your parents, and most importantly, which this writer of Jezebel, I mean, I'm not going to put her name on blast, much love to her, I'm not going to do that, but have love for yourself, because you can't possibly love other people. It's like the picture quote you see every day on Facebook and Instagram. It sounds corny, but it's true. You can't love other people if you don't love yourself. You can't change the world if you don't change yourself. You can't help the world if you don't help yourself. You can't spread all this good vibes if you don't have it within. And there's barely any of those from the low energy crab Trump hater side. And not to make this political, although it is political, because the only people hating on Taylor Swift are low-energy Trump-hating crabs, but these people are the epitome of hypocrisy. That's why you see Hollywood just exposing themselves, because everything that they want people to do, they won't even do themselves. They won't even make an effort. They won't even like self-reflect for 1 second. And I'm not saying everybody's perfect or anybody's perfect. I know they're not. That's why I'm not mad at anybody. It's like we all can do better, you know? We all have a ways to go. But the level that they think that they're going to take this, I'm here to say from my couch with this goofy pillow sitting here, we're not going to take it. Like the song, we're not going to take it. You could have your opinions. You could have your little rants. You could cry. You could hold up little effigies of the president like weird Satanists. You can, scream, and you could lie on MSNBC. You could lie on CNN. You could basically take over Facebook and Twitter and Google and all of these things. But you can't take away our love. You're not allowed to love Trump's hate with hate and hate. It's like, where's the love? I thought there's love there. You can't take away optimism. You can't take away spirituality. They're already trying to, destroy the country by taking away absolute spirituality, but enough is enough. I mean, stop attacking celebrities who are happy, because all of these fake celebrity activists who are just spreading negative vibes and bad vibes, they're not even getting their politics right. That's my biggest part. At least if you're going to be like a screeching negative celebrity who's like, "Rah!" At least like be right half the time, and then I'll be like, oh, they made a good point. Like years ago, I would have been like, I wish there was a celebrity or an athlete who stepped out of line and spoke the truth. But now all the people stepping out of line, they're doing the opposite of activism. They're like perpetuating all the problems. Meanwhile, they're attacking the one person who destroyed the illusion of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and the media. He is the revolution. He is the activist. We've destroyed the illusion. They're trying to like take us back and throw us back in the cage. We broke out of that cage. I mean, I can't tell if these people are just very foolish, or if they really believe themselves, or if they're purposely trying to like re-enslave us. Be like, whoa, we let the cat out of the bag, let's throw him back in the cage. I don't know. Personally, I think they actually believe themselves. But it's some weird stuff going on. It's like, at what point do you just stop? And at least be honest. Like, I mean, I don't even want to get that big, to be honest, like I said, because when you get big, even now, like, I don't even enjoy sometimes logging to Facebook, because then I see all these comments. No matter what I say, there's somebody that's like, it's like, the low-energy crabs, when you get out of the bucket, they try to drag you back to the darkness. But it's like, I'm already at the point where I didn't even want to get this big. But in a way, I want to get bigger to the point where I can debate anybody for the people. I'll take the sacrifice. I want to have conversations with celebrities. I already said I could beat Ben Shapiro in a debate because I can, and I mean that. I'm going to keep repeating it to try to lure him in. But, I want to debate Ben Shapiro. I want to debate Chelsea Handler. I want to debate Rachel Maddow. And they could say, Ben Shapiro is bigger than me for sure. And from a business standpoint, I have over 100 million views now this year on this page. I own another page, WorldCloud, which has about 100 million views. So that's 200 million views in a year, almost 1 billion people reached, if not more than 1 billion people reached. So it's getting to the point where they can't use that excuse anymore. So that's my main motivation for getting bigger. One, help more people, and really, I'm starting a whole news network, a whole news platform, putting my money where my mouth is. I don't like the news, so I want to create the least biased news and the most fair, honest news network on the planet, working on that. But I also want to get to the point where these celebrities and these progressives and, all these people that are like, I'm a liberal, whatever, I'm ready to debate them. And a lot of them, I have bigger audiences than them, but they don't want to debate me. They just want to sit in their echo chamber and just talk to their people. I know people that have big followings, and they only have people on that agree with them. And to an extent, I haven't had enough people on that disagree with me. That's why I have the Rare Talk podcast. I have a lot of friends who have different political opinions than me. And guess what? We get along, we love each other, we debate, then we go have fun. And that's the main reason why I did the Rare Talk podcast. On top of it's fun, I wanted to get and talk about things that I don't always talk about here, because I can't cover every single thing on this platform. People say, why don't you do this, that? I'm only one person. I do my own editing. I do my own management. I do my own social media management. I answer 300 plus messages a week. I do everything on my own. I'm a one-man team, but a million-man team and woman team because I have your support. So you guys are part of the marketing team because we do it all with no budget, just shares. But I'm trying to get to the level where people can stop dodging me because we need to have a debate, not on some ego trip like, oh, I want to beat you, I want to be better than you. People deserve a real conversation. And, I say I want to debate Ben Shapiro because, he's the top dog right now. And I think he's cool, but I think he can be brought down to earth. And there's things that I think he's not telling the truth about. I want to debate progressives because that's when you get good stuff. When both sides meet each other. Okay, you've been complaining about the travel ban all year. That's cool. That's fine. I understand there might be some things. Let's talk about it. Why don't you face somebody face to face who can have a conversation about it? And maybe you don't know as much as you thought you knew, or maybe you do, and maybe I look foolish. It's fine. I don't really care. I just want people to hear multiple sides and hear the truth. So that's the goal for 2017. Hopefully at Politicon they'll let me debate somebody. If not, I'm gonna keep leveling up to the point where people can't dodge me anymore, and they'll have this conversation because that's what it's all about. Is uniting the American people, is uniting people in the world, is uniting all races, cultures together, really uniting, not fake uniting, like, oh, I'm going to hate myself and I'm going to hate my own country, but I'm going to pretend like I love everyone else, even though half the people that I love want to kill me. I mean, that's not true equality. That's just foolishness. That's naivety, if that's how you even say it. But this conversation's already gone too long, but it was a fun one. Once again, Taylor Swift was getting attacked by low-energy crabs for literally, I'm going to read it again. Just because it's so ridiculous. I mean, this is how low the low-energy crabs will go. I mean, at least they showed their true colors. That's why I'm excited, because time tells all. And, a lot of people disguise their insecurities and their weaknesses and their hatred for themselves and their hatred for the country and their hatred for the world and their negative bad vibes. They blame the President of the United States for it. But I know, I've been watching some of these people on Twitter and in real life for years, and the low energy did not come from when the president came. I think they're kind of scapegoating him and blaming all their weaknesses on him. But I'm going to read the Taylor Swift post one more time before I leave, just so it really sinks in. I love you guys so much. Jingle Ball in London a few days ago. I couldn't have asked for a better year. I love you guys so much. I couldn't have asked for a better year. All thanks to you. Thanks for your birthday wishes. Can't wait to see what 28 will be like. See you on tour. Smiley face. I mean, if that's not an acceptable thing to say, are we going to take it 1984 style? I mean, they're already censoring Google, Facebook, Twitter. They're already so far left-leaning, which is fine. I'm a classic liberal. Yes, equality, justice, but happiness is not going to be allowed in the future? Are we going to start banning Taylor Swift for being happy? Oh, no. You're not even allowed to be optimistic. I mean, you have to be pessimistic. Don't they get that we create the future? The future is not set. President Trump does not solely decide the future. He can only do as much as we help him do. I don't care if it's Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. We have to up the vibes regardless. It's us that changes the world. That's where they get us. They get hundreds of millions of people to put out bad vibes. And then they use those bad vibes to be bad people. We control the future. So if you're attacking the one celebrity who's being optimistic, you're ruining the future. Not President Trump. You're ruining the future with your bad, terrible vibes. Because it's been a year, and all of these things that people are worried about haven't happened, and they're never going to happen because they're all made up and self-manifested. Believe in people. Believe in yourself. Net neutrality. Okay, well, even if Comcast and Verizon start trying to jack up the prices, guess what? We're not pathetic, weak people. We are strong human beings, so if they start manipulating the internet, we'll take it back. We already have geniuses and coders and people. I talk to smart, optimistic people all the time, and they tell me, Anomaly, Net neutrality is worse than you think, but don't worry. There's already really smart coders and really, people who are good at the internet. They're already working on ways around it. We always win. Humans always win. We make mistakes, we find a way, and we succeed. So I don't care how bad the bill is. I don't care how bad the tragedy is. We're going to rebound and make it better if we want to. It's just like the environmental video I made. Most environmentalists say, oh man, everything's going to burn. Well, yeah, it's all going to burn down if you let it burn down. But there's 19-year-olds cleaning the ocean. While you're like, oh, it's so bad, there's people working towards the solution all of the time. So there's no point in just being a low-energy negative crab, because you're making the future worse, not President Trump. He's a super overly ambitious person who's doing more in 8 months than most people do in their entire life. Someone said, breathe. I don't want to breathe. Now I'm going to hold my breath for the next minute. I'll breathe when I want to breathe. We create the future. We will make the solutions. I don't care what bill is passed. I don't care what politician gets involved. Optimism will make the world great again. Good vibes will make the world great again. Real good vibes, not fake good vibes for a campaign, $1.2 billion failed campaign. That's not going to change the world. Love Trump's hate. And, Bernie Sanders was successful, so let me steal his slogan. That's not real love. That's not real good vibes. Those are fake good vibes. I'm talking about real good energy, real good people, starting with themselves, then working out towards people they see on the daily, then working out towards their goals. It's all good. And guess what? I can't believe this might be a revolutionary statement. Stop the press. Get Jezebel and Mother Jones. Ready? Get your pens out. All the passive-aggressive journalists who just sit behind their computers and write negative articles all the time because they're mad at everybody. Ready? I'm going to say something very controversial. 2017 was a really good year. One of the best years of my life. I had a great year, and I expect 2018 to be even better. I like the president. I think he's underrated, and I think you guys are overrated. I think you can't have a debate or a discussion without being irrational and negative. So, I enjoy my life. I know, spoiler alert, I'm sorry I'm not miserable and, blaming everyone else for everything. Stuff is ridiculous. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Whoa, she's grateful and loving? 2 no-nos. You can't love people, and you definitely can't be grateful. Grateful is the enemy of the press. They don't want you to love what you have. They don't want you to travel and realize all these people that you thought were terrible weren't that terrible, and that you actually have a really great life. Because then you won't vote the way that they want you to vote. If you appreciate everything, they can't use the past and the future to control you and take you out of the present moment, because the present moment is where the power is. Perhaps the government can regulate your breathing. Exactly. Let's vote Democrat or Republican, whatever. They can regulate my breathing because I'm not breathing enough, and we need more breathing. And if they don't regulate my breathing, then I hate poor people because there's people who can't breathe, so they need to regulate my breathing, socialize the breathing out. Everyone can have breaths. They might as well just take my lungs. Why not? Give them to someone else. Stuff is ridiculous. Thank you guys so much for joining. I don't know how much longer that I can really rant. But thank you guys for joining. Much love to all the optimistic, grateful, happy people out there, because it's really our perception. It's not always what's happening. There's people with millions of dollars and billions of dollars that are miserable because they don't live in the present moment. They're not grateful. They're not loving. They have too much ego. They have too much pride. They care about money too much. So, yeah, be happy regardless of what's happening. It's going to get better. If it's bad, it's going to get better. Maybe it's not as bad as you thought it was. Who knows? Maybe you're having a great time. I have no idea. I'm not there. I'm here with the weird pillow there. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to post my links below. One is going to be the email list. If you haven't signed up, it's free, easy. It takes like 5-10 minutes. The other one's going to be the donation link if you want to support. If not, it's fine. Go buy some eggs or something, unless you don't like eggs, and don't buy those. I don't know. That was just the first thing I thought of. And check out the Rare Talk podcast. I'm going to put a new one up tomorrow, with my friend who owns a hip-hop blog. and is a double Purple Heart veteran and hip hop artist. Very, very rare person. Yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to do a video on technology. I've just been kind of lazy. I wouldn't say lazy. I'm doing other stuff, but just to like edit and film, I get tired. It's a lot of labor on the computer. But thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas to you too. Happy holidays, and yeah, we'll be back.